Joining us now is Democratic Senator Adam Schiff of California. He is a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Senator Schiff, Chairman Grassley and Ranking Member Durbin of the Senate Judiciary Committee are also now demanding a briefing about what happened in Venezuela, since Marco Rubio is claiming they just did it for the Justice Department. It was just to execute that warrant for the Justice Department.
Yes, Rubio was just adding one lie to another. For months and months, as they engaged in these boat strikes, they claimed this was about narcotics. It was not about regime change. They just wanted to stop these drug boats from coming to the United States, even though they weren't bound for our shores. Tim Kaine, myself, Rand Paul offered war powers resolutions to bring an end to this. They had bipartisan support, but not enough to pass. But nevertheless, the administration persisted. This is about drugs. Even after Donald Trump pardoned the former drug-running president of Honduras, they insisted this is about drugs, not regime change. Now they've gone in, used the military, grabbed Maduro, this heinous leader of Venezuela, and his wife. And if this were about drugs and not regime change, you would think that was the end of it. But no, they say they're going to run the country now, that we're going to run Venezuela. And the reason they have been oddly transparent about for the first time, it's about oil. It's about oil. It's about the oil wealth of Venezuela, which has reportedly some of, if not the largest oil reserves in the world. What we seem to see is Donald Trump's campaign promise to the oil industry that if they spend hundreds of millions or $1 billion on his campaign, he would richly reward them. We are now seeing that reward. But in terms of that MAGA base that you were talking about, Lawrence, that he promised no more foreign wars, no more nation building, this is a big militaristic middle finger to the MAGA base by Donald Trump. We are now very much back in regime change business, and we are just being overt about it. We will use our military. We will depose foreign leaders if we can have access to their mineral wealth.
Yeah, Republicans like Lindsey Graham, who spent all of the Bush years in the 21st century completely supporting every invasion, every regime change move. Suddenly, when Donald Trump enters their politics, they forget that they supported all of that, all of them. And Republican voters apparently forgot that they supported it in the election and re-election of George W. Bush. And now here they are, full circle, back where they started this century, in full support of regime change invasions.
Well, that's right. You know, there is one difference, though, at least arguably. At the time, for example, of Iraq, George W. Bush made a different kind of argument. He made an argument about trying to bring democracy to the region. If you'll remember, that was part of one of his inaugural addresses. There was at least a nod to democracy. Here, there's not even a nod to democracy. If there is, it's disdainful shrug when he was asked about the now Nobel Prize winning opposition leader. He denigrated her, saying, well, she doesn't really have the support. She doesn't have the wherewithal. She has a lot more support than Donald Trump. She has 72% approval in Venezuela, double Donald Trump's approval on the economy here in the United States. But he doesn't even make the pretense of that. He is just overt about it. This is about oil. If it was, as Marco Rubio put it, as you pointed out, this is all about bringing Maduro to justice in the U.S. courts, it's a law enforcement operation, nothing more, then what explains Trump saying we're going to run the country? If this was merely an apprehension of a fugitive, that wouldn't require us to run the country. But we are going to apparently be running the country through the number 2 of this corrupt Maduro regime, the former vice president, now, I guess, acting president. So we've only changed the top of the regime, but we are going to work with that corrupt drug-running regime if it will give us access to oil.
Senator Adam Schiff, thank you very much for joining our coverage tonight.
Thanks, Lawrence.